For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Another sad moment for us in St. Lucia as we welcome you to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as Radio Garden and tune in, and of course the NewsSpin YouTube channel. So don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and in just a bit, your calls at 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Of course, this is the final broadcast for this week. Unacceptable, a blot on the image of St. Lucia, because we don't want St. Lucia to be safe only for the citizens of this country, but we also want it to be safe for visitors to our shores. And we want to maintain our reputation as a country that is seen as not being perfect, but a country that can be described as a paradise. But obviously, a lot right now is at stake. Our reputation is at stake. The safety of residents in St. Lucia is at stake. The very economic growth that people are boasting about, that is at stake. And we don't behave that way. We don't want to preserve the island's reputation, and therefore we appear to be on autopilot, leaving things to chance. We seem to be taking a very scientific approach when it comes to politicians wanting to be re-elected into office and those who are in power wanting to maintain power. And you see the energy that is being displayed. you realize how enthusiastic those politicians are in terms of selling themselves to the electorate, selling their ideas, and especially in a very mischievous manner, spreading a lot of misinformation and disinformation. So they are all out to win power in this country, to maintain power in St. Lucia. But what about ensuring that the individuals, the people, the citizens of this country, who must hand that power to you, how about ensuring their safety? And for me, from my vantage point, this is not paramount. And as I said yesterday, boldly at that, those who are in office, they really don't care about the citizens of this country. Demonstrating this. They are not proving it to you. Because by now, we would have heard from the Prime Minister of the country, we would have heard from the island's morning. And the individual said, do you know that there is a special type of individuals who are missing these days? And he said, I will send you the photograph. And I hesitated for a while. For me, it was not so urgent. I allowed some time to elapse because once I saw this photograph, I would have displayed it on this program. And of course, we would have made an appeal to you, the citizens. It turns out it's a meme of the island's police commissioner, Mr. Vanguard. And it is in circulation. A missing person appeal has been put out there for Mr. Vanguard, the police commissioner. And it says there, missing Vanguard, Commissioner of Police, last seen on the 4th of August 2025. And it says there, call your nearest police station if you have leads. Thank you. That's no laughing matter, you know. Such is life in this country that now people, you know, maybe it's genuinely so, that they are not seeing the police commissioner. They're not hearing from the police commissioner. He went on vacation. He has been back, I'm told, from September the 1st. Today is the 19th, and we haven't heard from the police commissioner. And between the time he has been back and now, easily, we have had at least 10 or even more homicides which have been recorded in St. Lucia. And so the island continues to record homicide after homicide. And there's no shortage of excuses so that the government will not take any kind of responsibility for what is happening at this time under its watch. And that's bold of the government. That is very bold of the authorities. That things are helter-skelter. Criminals are having their way. Criminals are determining when and how they will snuff out the lives of their opponents, or if you want to call them the enemies. And we are just merely observers. Whether it's the police, whether it's the National Security Minister, whether it is the Prime Minister, whether it is the Minister with responsibility for crime prevention, we are just observing what is happening. There is no kind of effective intervention on the part of the authorities in St. Lucia. Can the ordinary man, I've been saying this for years, in Grosillay, in Dennery, in Ancillary, in Vieux-Fort, take it upon himself or herself to fight crime in this country? Yes, they can assist. Yes, they can call the hotline. Yes, through the various mechanisms set up by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, pass on information to law enforcement personnel on the island. But are we demonstrating as a country that we even want to fight crime? And this can manifest itself in a number of areas. More police officers on our streets. That would demonstrate that. A couple addresses to the nation where your various government ministers would talk tough, because they talk tough to each other, their political opponents. They threaten their political opponents. They make up all kinds of stories about their political opponents. And one would have expected by now that the government of the day, and the ministers, since they are in the seat of power, they will just cease campaigning for a bit and focus what is affecting the people of this country. Focus on the crime problem, because, again, the Prime Minister and political leader of the SLP, he likes to water down how you're feeling about crime. Because he says, quote, people like to talk about crime, but that is the issue. It's crime. That is what we are experiencing in this country. And Mr. Prime Minister, National Security Minister, and now we have Dr. Ernest Hilaire as the acting Prime Minister. That is what the people are experiencing. And I think if people had a choice, they would not leave their homes, whether it's on mornings, afternoons, on evenings to go to work, or venture out of their homes. If they had a choice. They don't have a choice. You have to eke out a living. If adults in St. Lucia had a choice, parents had a choice, they would not be sending their children to school. And I dare you to accuse me of hyperbole or exaggeration. That's no exaggeration. If I had a choice, honestly, I'll be secluding myself. Because there's something called collateral damage. Innocent people, as has been demonstrated over the last few years, can be caught in the crossfire. They can be crippled. They can be injured. And dozens of people have also lost their lives in the process. And what happens? What is happening right now? Campaigning. Protect the victory. And the mood is what? Red. That is the mood. The mood is red. That's the priority. Let us make comparisons as to which political rallies are attracting the biggest crowds, whether it's SLP or UWP. That is what is en vogue. That is what is in style. That is what should be preoccupying our attention right now as a nation, when so many of our young men are being killed on our streets. And so yesterday, there was a shooting incident, this time on the Bexon Highway. I think it's just about after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. 2 men got shot, and I've been able to confirm that one succumbed to his injuries. One was killed. The other one reportedly is nursing his injuries. Those of you watching, you could see the body slumped in a chair in a balcony over in Bexon. And people are there, they're curious, they have thronged the area. And that's not what we really should be doing. We should be harassing our elected officials and those who have been appointed to maintain law and order in this country. Because that's what they're being paid to do. And stop making excuses. You hear the excuses. And parents must do better. And the church and more youth organizations. And let us pray and pray. Turn our lives to the Lord. We can do all that. All that is required. But if there is a dereliction of duty on the part of parents, if you have been a bad parent, absent father, your mother, you were overseas in the diaspora, send a few barrels to your children, you believe that will help, and your children have taken a bad road, they are miscreants, they are the ones who are menace to the society. What do we have to do? Pray about this? Or deal with those hooligans? The police must deal with them. And I'm not saying engage in extrajudicial killings. That's where the state comes in. You arrest, you file charges, taken before the court, trial within a reasonable period, you are found guilty, made to pay a price, you are innocent, you are released. Simple. Cannot be an excuse. Parents, yes, parents ought to do better. Right now, parents ought to do better. As we speak, parents ought to do better. We agree. Our various institutions ought to play their roles and so on. But the state has a responsibility to maintain law and order. It can't be the business of a police officer to give consideration to the fact that your parents did not take care of you, etc. So you're being found in possession of a legal firearm. So we take that into consideration. We take the firearm and we allow it. It is. You deal with the situation as is warranted. So let us not make excuses for our leaders. Let's not make excuses for. And we all have a responsibility to speak on those issues in our country. The private sector is just too silent, and I know that I'm wasting my time speaking about the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture as if that organization does exist. I don't think they exist. And maybe they're just selfish, looking after the interest of their quote-unquote members, not realizing that you need openly, as is being done in other countries in the Caribbean, and you know those countries, they will go unnamed, where they apply the pressure, they call on the authorities, they say we are paying our taxes, we are existing in an environment that is unstable, do what is required to maintain law and order in our country. We need to hear from those institutions. And not out of convenience at some point in time, maybe close to the election, you'll hear a statement being issued by a so-called concerned citizens group. At some point in time, a lot of us will be impacted if we are already not being impacted by the crime problem in St. Lucia. Let's not pretend that is not a serious problem. Let us not try to delude people into believing that the priority is economic growth. The government is doing such a fine job. The Prime Minister is doing such a fine job. He's about to give public sector workers a bonus of $500. What could happen to some of those public sector workers if we continue to allow the situation to just go on without it being tackled? One or two public sector workers might not be around to collect that $500 bonus. That's how bad the situation is in our country. You don't know when a gunman will pull out his firearm and fire indiscriminately at a group of people. Whether it's on Brazil Street, whether it is on Miku Street, as was the case a couple Saturdays ago, whether it is in Dennery, whether it's on the Bexon Highway, it is out of control. Let's not pretend that we are not in a calamitous situation. It is very, very bad. That's not the case, obviously, in a number of other Caribbean territories. And that includes Jamaica. We'll be hearing from the Jamaican Prime Minister during the course of the broadcast. Fortunately, we can't hear from our Prime Minister, but you'll be hearing from Dr. Andrew Holness, because he has set up a Ministry of National Security and Peace, and he will expound on this. An independent candidate in Mr. Elwin St. has issued a statement regarding the situation here right now. And I find it sobering. And that's the kind of statement I expected to have heard from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia and the National Security Minister, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. But unfortunately, fortunately, because someone will tell me he's a human being and he's been working very, very hard for the people of St. Lucia, he's currently on vacation. But as I say, from independent candidate for Ancillary Canaries, Mr. Elwin St.
My brothers and sisters and fellow St. Lucians, at the appropriate time, I will make a full presentation on this matter, but for today, I wish to speak to you briefly since we are all concerned about it. It is the matter of the menace and scourge of crime in our country. It breaks the heart and aches the soul. My deepest condolences to all the families who have lost their loved ones to violent crime. St. Lucia was not always like it has become today, as it relates to the issue of violence. Let me say up front that there is no government that can actually stop someone from committing a crime if that is what that person chooses to do. The citizens are not the minor children of the government. Having said that, however, there is a whole lot that the government can do to stop the scourge of violent crime and to minimize its impact. Too many of our people are dying in St. Lucia because of violence that leaves behind a trail of hurt, fear, innocent blood, and a homicide rate that is greater than that of New York City, that has a population of 9 million people. Families are devastated, communities are disrupted and are losing their identity. The government is getting embarrassed, and our small island developing state with tourism forming about 65% of its GDP is on a path to losing this economic privilege of survival. Whether we believe it or not, our very survival as a small island state without natural resources is on the line. The challenge of violent crime must never be a partisan issue, but a patriotic one. I am therefore calling on all politicians in St. Lucia, past, present, and future, along with the government, to develop a burden for the safety of our people and to let us work together for the greater good of our country. What is happening in our island nation of less than 200,000 people is sad, shameful, savage, and ignorant. In 2025, we deserve better as a people. We can do better, and the stewardship of sound leadership requires and demands us to do better. In order to accomplish this, all interested parties in St. Lucia must get involved in our effort to defeat and deter criminal behavior. The government, the churches, the schools, the community groups, the business and private sector, civil society, and most importantly, parents must all do their part to help defeat this scourge. If we don't, we will live to forever regret it, and it will lead us to infamy. Calling talk shows and asking the nation to pray and fast have a role, but are not the answer. We are wrong and will face the rebuke of history with our high tolerance of criminal behavior and treating it as if it were normal. Our children and grandchildren will one day reflect on the past and will see us as cowards who did nothing to give them a better St. Lucia because of our failure to act. The time has come for us to work together and act in concert. Patriotism demands it. If we as a nation allow the few criminal gangs and other elements to control and dominate the many, we would have literally betrayed the land that gave us birth and sold it down the river. For those of us who think that we are safe from the terror of violent crime and its threat to our safety, security, and survival because we have the car, the job, and the money, I remind us that a threat to safety anywhere is a threat to safety everywhere. St. Lucia does not have the space for anyone to hide. When the scourge of violence takes root in our national space and begins to permeate our country, I call on the business sector to realize that tourism is the core of our economy. The profits you make in your business operation is from a customer base that is 65% economically dependent and surviving on a tourism industry. This criminal culture we are allowing to be built in St. Lucia has the potential to create an economic problem for you and all the rest of us. You have a lot to lose when you say and do nothing. St. Lucia needs you to get involved. The message we must send to those who perpetuate criminality is simple. We have come to the moment in St. Lucia when you must know that there will be no place for you to hide. We will find you on the East Coast and the West Coast. We will find you in the North and in the South. We will never allow you to keep terrorizing us. Finally, I appeal directly to our young people and all others who think that joining a gang, carrying illegal guns and ammunition, setting boundaries and trying to control turf and territory, settling disputes with violence, to please put that illegal gun down and pick up a book, pick up a computer and begin a career. You are destroying yourself, your family, other families, and your country. You will either end up dead or incarcerated at bodily for the rest of your life. Violence is not the answer to any problem. Your freedom is too important. We need a change and we want you to be part of it. Thanks to Mr. Poleon and NewsSpin for keeping this matter in the national discourse. May God bless us all, and may God continue to bless this beautiful land and guard her sons and daughters from woe and harm. Thank you.
Independent candidate for Ancillary Canaries, Mr. Elwin St. Now, I could imagine he's overseas, and he sent that to me via WhatsApp. Think our Prime Minister could have done the same? Address the nation directly in this same manner? Let us hear from a former police officer. He now lives in the UK. Well-known police officer, Malcolm. Everybody know him as Malcolm. No-nonsense individual. Took the fight to the criminals a few years ago. And I imagine that, like other police officers, those are in the diaspora, those who are in St. Lucia, ex-police officers, they're feeling despondent. They want to help. I'm sure that they are sad as to what is happening right now, and they're harking back to the period when they were on the beat and they were not afraid to ensure that law and order was maintained or returned to the St. Lucian society whenever there was any kind of outbreak of violence. Because you had pockets of violence during the 80s, the 90s, and so on. And let me stress this. People like to give the impression that when we're discussing crime on NewsSpin, it's as if we want the Prime Minister or the government of St. Lucia and the police, etc., to work towards ensuring that we have zero violence. That is not possible. That is impractical, unrealistic. We are saying bring it under some level of control. That is what we're expecting from any government that is serious and efficient. So let's hear from former police officer Malcolm.
It's time for the police force to find a leader and take the fight to these guys. Take the fight to the criminal. In my days, we would have done that. Get a team of men, the sheriff, Kim Louis, Barty, James Cole. We will take the fight to these guys. I could remember the Prime Minister John Compton would not allow this to happen. He would give 5 Augustine instruction to get a team of men and go out there and fight the criminal, and he would answer questions. I really don't understand what is really going on in St. Lucia. Like, the Prime Minister and the Commissioner don't realize that tourism is the only thing we have there, and if this continue any longer, what's going to happen? These police officers who wearing khaki should get up on their backsides and put on their clothes and get out there in the ghetto and fight these fellas. Timothy, I don't know what is going on. Smash the gangs. It's time to smash the gangs. We had 4 people die down in the south. And you mean to tell me nobody, not even the commissioner, could find somebody, set up a podium down there and show force, go down there and cause or make a conference happen so they would see that the police is serious and the government is serious? Timothy, things is bad. Things is so bad down there. Timothy, to be honest, in my days, the sheriff and I alone will close down shop on these fellas. Don't talk about if Kim Louis, James, Go, Worrell, a whole team that I could call. Tim, listen, let me make you understand something. If these fellas bring back a couple of us, we will shut the place down. And these criminals will stay inside and don't come out. You understand me? Tim, I don't even want to see it no more because you know what? No beat and patrol. You cannot see no police officer on the street. I was down there just the other day, no police officer. But Tim, you know what is surprising? Every policeman is carrying a gun down there, you know. And not one of them could be on the scene when a crime is happening. Nobody busts a shot. Gun is made to bust. That is what is being made to do.
Former police officer Malcolm, he called NewsSpin yesterday. He now resides in the UK. Let's hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Say good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let us find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. A few comments from me, and NewsSpinner says here, after so many years, this intro is quite fitting. A commentary reads, I woke up this morning and my mood was red because I am afraid to go out. NewsSpinner says, Tim, there is no crime prevention. Another commentary reads, Richard Frederick, I want to know how you putting the people first on such a high price on those caravans. Remember, those people are vendors. Someone says their crime is the latest in St. Lucia. No matter what happens, they do not care or show no interest. A commentary reads, St. Lucia has become a war zone. All the focus is on Alan Chasney, the opposition leader. Not a word about the number of people being killed every day. A NewsSpinner says, well, the mood is more important than the people in the country. It's all about power and money. Commentary reads, they are too focused on securing the victory and the Chasney than securing the country and its people. But what they do not realize is that the victory is quickly slipping away with all this bloodshed, murders, violence, and especially the deliberate silence from the Prime Minister and the government. A commentary reads, team, here we go again. Yesterday we had 1 stabbing, 2 gunned down. We do not have any news on the one who was critical, but I understand 1 died. Imagine I heard Wayne Girardon meet the minister and he too was saying that crime should not be politicized, but still he did not speak about the 4 deaths on Wednesday or the stabbing and the shootings yesterday. Don't you think that this was an opportune time to say something to the people of St. Lucia? This silence is dangerous and we call on the authorities to do something.
Well, he actually extended condolences to the families of those people, the victims, the murder victims, during that same program. So we'll hear now from Mr. Wayne Girard, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister.
I think it's important for me to express my condolence for the families who've suffered loss in this country.
Yes.
I think it is a tragedy, to be quite honest. Every loss of life is a concern for us as a government. We are sincere in our pronouncements in making sure all of what is available for the police is made available to allow them to fight crime. We have pursued a policy of being tough on crime and tough on also on the causes of crime. And that is why we spend so much time and energy ensuring that we provide support to as many young people who may avail themselves to it. So I really want to express my condolence to the families who are grieving at the moment. And I want to assure them that this government will continue to do whatever we can to deal with the issues of crime. Tough on crime and tough on the causes of crime.
Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister is also the MP for Ancillary Canneries, Mr. Wayne Girard. Let's continue with Amanda.
Tim, someone says, give a suggestion as to what can be done. Talk alone does nothing, and it is the easiest thing to do. Another commentary says, the mood is red. We are in an election season, and our main priority or focus is to win the election, stay in power, and protect in victory. Everything else will have to wait. And NewsSpin says here, I fear not for my life. Things are not out of hand like some declare. Look well who is affected. Commentary says, Elwin, please give PJP this speech so he can address the nation when he returns from vacation. Our commentary says, Philip J. Pierre, in all his arrogance and ignorance, refuses to work with the opposition in any circumstance. Our commentary says, what a serious security department it would be if Pastor St. Rose, Chico, and Kakal, among others, were selected for the island's security.
And incidentally, former police officer Malcolm is on the line again, calling from the UK. As we say, good afternoon to you, sir. Go ahead with your contribution.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Oui,
Comment est,
moi là,
monsieur?
moi bien.
Yes, Tim. Once again, Malcolm is again there. He's online. You got to be online because it's not right. The place is getting bad. St. Lucia is not in the right place. That's not the St. Lucia that I know when I came from, I was born in Guyana, come to St. Lucia. My parents were St. Lucia and came there in 1976. That's not St. Lucia again. Tim, I want to send condolences for the people of Fort who was involved, or the family who had this tragic yesterday while you and I were speaking.
Actually, those the murder victims are actually not from V4. The bodies were found in a section of the community, but they are not from V4.
Thank you. Thank you for your correction. Thank you for your correction.
You're welcome, sir.
But right, Timothy, the criminals have no respect, disrespect in all aspects. Timothy, the criminal is in charge, and they are discharging all the time by using their gun. For this year, the police have not discharged the amount of wrongs, and this gives us a clear indication and solution that the criminal is in charge, and there's no law in the land. Timothy, in St. Lucia, there's no profiling. There's no intelligence. There's no boots on the ground. There's no stopping and search. There's no show of force. The SB Special Branch, I don't know whether they're just wearing nice clothes to come to work or what they're doing, but they're the one that is supposed to be securing our country and getting information, be it covert, overt, observation, patrol, intelligence, guarding criminal intelligence. But Timothy, apparently, nothing is going on. Nothing is happening. In my days, SB used to work, but apparently everybody just take a back seat. The gunman them is in charge. Timothy, I really don't understand how this is happening in a country like St. Lucia, which is so beautiful. Timothy, I work on the airport, Heathrow Airport, and when I meet people, and I tell them I'm from St. Lucia, what a beautiful country, who have done the wedding, who have gone to holidays. And for my country to be in this state, no, Timothy. I had to come on this radio and talk and let them criminals know that it's time for them to put up or shut up, or the guns them to report in, or I will come down there and help if they want to deal with the case. Because the criminal is right on the street, they're right there, Timothy, we don't need to look for them, they're right there, Timothy. Listen, Timothy, these fellas have no respect at all for police officer. I've witnessed where criminals pushing police, and police is locking them up. They're not using the law. They're not using the law to their advantage, Timothy. Timothy, the country is out of order. Out of order. Now, Timothy, to be honest, I think we need to come up with a plan, be it teachers, nurses, doctors, parents, ex-police, everybody, politician, everybody come together. Let we deal with this case. Let me deal with this case. Come together and deal with this case, because this case is not no politician business or no kind of one-sided thing. This thing is affecting everybody. Nobody want to go out. Nobody want to go nowhere. You understand me? The judicial system in St. Lucia is so good that I want to know what's going on. You guys passed a law that if you've been caught with a gun and ammunition, no bail. So guys, fellas is on bail for a lollipop and they gone on the street. I can remember just a couple of days ago, they bail a man for a crime, gun crime, and he go and do a murder case. So Timothy, the place is in a mess and we need to fix it up. And fix it up now. You understand me? The gunmen them need to understand that the police need to step up. And the gunmen them understand that the police is not stepping up. Because Timothy, let me tell you, the police scared of these fellas. Afraid of these fellas. You understand me? We need to start getting information, profiling, observation patrol, going out their house, staking out. You understand me? Getting information on vehicle. How many people come into these drug fellas' place, come out, go in, come out. That information, and when we're ready, we bring out the whole police force from south, east, west, north, and south, cordon off the area and attack these fellas. Because, listen, these fellas will start shooting Prime Minister, police in a minute, as we talk. And this is their plan. So right now, Jamaica, Barbados, St. Kitts, Dominica, Antigua, not playing with the gangs. They lock the gangs them down. The place is quiet. Now listen, Tim, I went to Dominica, Creole Festival, and let me tell you, not even a true mama case I heard there, I went there for 5 days. 5 days in the festival, and not one police do an arrest there, The people have respect for the police. There's no respect for the police in St. Lucia, Tim, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to tell you what. It's time for we to wake up. We need to get the ex-police officers to go to the school and start preaching 17-year-old, 16, 15, to talk about crime, talk about the guns, what's the consequence if you start, and this is what it is. But apparently, you got so many ex-police, professional ex-police, who have left the police force, and the government is not using them to go around and form some sort of communication with the youths down there, so the youth would deter from crime. Tim, you got 15-year-old, 16, 17, 18-year-old fellas committing crime in St. Lucia. What's going on down there? And we all know who is it. You understand? You got countryman who get information, and you mean to tell me SB can't get information. CID can't get information. Nobody in St. Lucia in the police force could get information. I pick these fellas up. Once your name called once, twice, you're supposed to be picked up. And let me deal with you. We're dealing with the law. We will pick you up, keep you in port, or keep you at the police station at a certain amount of hour, drop you, and pick you up back. Have a police officer outside to pick you up again, and we will interrogate you until you get frustrated, and you will give up, or you will tell us what we want to know. Tim, in my days, I would go in the graveyard when I want a man, and I would sit there, no drug cell, nothing coming in, nothing coming out. And when they see me there too often, they will tell me what I want to know. You hear me? So I don't know what's going on. If they want some help, Tim, I will come and help them now. And I ain't afraid. I fearless. They don't know me. You understand me? A lot of them don't really know me. They just hear about Malcolm. But Tim, we all need to come together. You, I, police force, doctor, lawyer, everybody need to come together. Politician, everybody need to come together and get this thing fixed up. Because St. Lucia is thinking. They finish.
Okay.
You hear me?
All right,
Thank
Malcolm.
you very much.
All right.
I'll give somebody else.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling, sir. Appreciate your call. Just heard there from a former police officer. Malcolm is calling from the UK. We have another call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Tim. This is Dominic Fede.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Fede.
Yeah, Tim, it has become necessary for me to ask for some time on your broadcast to respond to some very defamatory statements made by MP for Ancillary Canneries, Wayne Girard, who was on another talk show earlier. So he has been suggesting for quite some time, using the protection of Parliament, that I would have stolen an idea from the community of ancillary canneries and to start a business to benefit myself privately. Tim, I have said before that this is absolutely untrue, malicious. I have actually, on countless occasions, asked Mr. Girard to say it in the open media because he's only said it in the safe zones of Parliament. Now that he has said and repeated this libelous and scandalous statement in the open media this morning on a local radio station, I want to use your forum to inform him that I will be taking legal action against him. I'll be filing a case for defamation against Mr. Girard, and the burden is on him to prove the unfounded allegations which he has shared with all of St. Lucia this morning. Tim, my side of the story is this. I started the business while I was in opposition. I don't think it is proper that if I'm a government minister responsible for a line ministry, that I would start a business that I preside over that same industry. So I had this idea where I worked prior. I worked with a Jamaican company where bamboo rafting is very famous. So the idea that I would need to go to Jackmel to steal an idea about how to start a bamboo raft. You would remember that Sunday, the boss of Mr. Girard, the Prime Minister, said to him he needs to double up his efforts. So he has chosen, instead of, saying to me, let's debate the issues as it relates to how do we take ancillary canneries forward. Let's talk about vision and how do we uplift this constituency. He has decided instead to go nasty. So I must also, Tim, use your forum to dispel again. I have said publicly that the people of Canneries were without an ambulance, and as MP at the time back in 2019, I wanted to do something about it. At that time, funds were challenging, and my numerous requests to the Ministry of Health to procure an ambulance did not happen between 2016 and 2019. So I took it upon myself. I put a committee together within the constituency, and we formed a fundraising committee. We then requested of Spider-Man Tooth, who was the Minister for St. Lucia Social Development Fund, permission from himself and his board for us to use the St. Lucia Social Development Fund to put all the funds that were collected. Tim, if you're going to go out and you're doing a charity, you can't put checks in Timothy Poleon's name. No company would look at you seriously. So we used the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, and all of the monies were deposited there. I have outlined how much was raised, how much the expenses were, and what the profits were. And I actually requested of SSDF as recently as 2022, while in opposition, what is the status and what is the balance. SSDF did confirm that there is still the existing account where there's some $29,000 in the first fundraiser we had that was there towards the endeavor of an ambulance fund. Tim, it has been 4 years since I've demitted office. The CEO of SSDF is a known Labour Party guy, Mr. John Victory, who ran against me in 2016. He is from Canaries. Girard, the MP, they all know about this money. And it is very shameful and regrettable that they have not done anything about the ambulance fund to build on what we have started. So it's now 4 years, we're now going into an election, and they have decided instead that let us try to create some innuendo, and people will eventually believe that Dominic Fede stole the monies from the ambulance fund. Absolutely ridiculous, shameful, and very petty. But Mr. Girard will have his day in court, and Tim, I will continue to denounce these allegations as absolutely false and untruth. I know Mr. Girard is desperate. He's under pressure from the constituents because we left him, Tim, a bed and breakfast hotel to open up, built.
I suspect we have lost Mr. Dominic Fede. Just heard there from the United Workers' Party candidate for Ancillary Canaries, Mr. Dominic Fede. Are you still there, Mr. Fede? No, we have lost him. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. And, of course, we'll be having some... This is the most...
Uncontrollable desire for fried chicken. That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control, all so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Get set, let's go green with Lucia. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit LuciaLeg.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Lucia.
At Flow, loyalty pays back. Big time. That's why we're rewarding our customers with $400 in vouchers. That's like 6 months off your mobile bill, back in your pocket. Simply add mobile to your current home internet plan and claim your 400 rewards today. At Flow, loyalty pays back. That's how we keep your rhythm flowing.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? Seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
Let's Bet Sports is turning up the heat this CPL season with a sizzling on-ticket island-wide promotion. Bet just $10 online or in-store and score a letter coupon with every ticket. Collect the letters F, L, Y, and you're jetting off to an ultimate cricket experience at the CPL Finals in Guyana. An all-expense-paid trip for two, tickets to the finals, and $500 in your pocket. Plus, win match tickets, cricket jerseys, and cash prizes on the road to the finals. It's game time from August 4th to September 14th. Claim your prize at the SNL office in Gablewoods Mall, Castries. Play, win, fly to Guyana with Let's Bet Sports. Powered by the St. Lucia National Lottery. Terms and conditions apply. Your favorite event of the year is back. Project Chocolat presents Zouk of Blood, the ultimate all-white experience featuring Ola Tunjay.
In the engine room, we go jam instead.
Umpa.
Press off your one drop.
Back to by TYP. I want to go. To Soufre, Saturday, October 4th, Zouk of Blood. Also featuring Sir Lancelot, Hollywood HP, DJ Shocking, and hosted by MC Donaville. Regular tickets $120. All inclusive VIP $350. Very limited. No door sales. Available at the Cell Island Wide, Mambo's Bar in Soufre, and 4circlestickets.com. Zouk of Blood. Saturday, October 4th from 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Remember the dress code, all white.
Lisa, we voting for
Castries Southeast. This Sunday, September 21st, the St. Lucia Labour Party proudly launches Lisa Jawa here, your candidate who will lead with compassion, vision, and strength. Join us in Ulster as we stand together with our political leader and Prime Minister, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, to celebrate leadership, unity, and progress. This Sunday, Ulster comes alive. Together with Lisa Jawa here and Prime Minister Pierre, we are moving forward together.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, where we continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. This is NewsSpin. It's on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. And in a moment, of course, we'll be hearing from Amanda. So stand by for that and a whole lot more. Hopefully, we'll be hearing from the Prime Minister of Jamaica, because he speaks about having set up a Ministry of National Security and Peace. We have a call online. Let's go to that call via WhatsApp. Hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Hello, Timothy.
Hi.
If you just allow me. Hello, Timothy.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just going to turn. Right. Timothy, how are you and how is Amanda
I am
today?
okay, ma'am.
Good afternoon, call. I'm fine, thank you.
That's Mrs. Sarah
Wonderful.
Bobra. Good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Yes. Good afternoon, Timothy. Timothy, just two issues I want to raise today. They are quite different. First of all, Timothy, I think tomorrow is going to be 1 month, if I'm correct, since the journalist Eldridge Charles, I think her name is, she alleged that Minister Ernest Taylor had assaulted her. She had alleged that, and I think she had indicated that she had made a formal report to the police, if I'm correct. And I'm just wondering what the status is on this, because this is a matter of sufficient public interest. As I said, I think tomorrow will be one month since we learned of this matter. And I'm also asking because I understand, I'm not sure if that's correct, I understand that there was an ID parade or a process of identification which the police held a lineup, and the complainant identified the minister as the person she alleged assaulted her. Now, I'm subject to correction on this, Timothy, but I believe that these ID parades are normally held after an arrest has been done. So I'm just asking, again, in the public...
Okay, you seem to have... okay, you on.
Have I lost you, Timothy?
Yes, go ahead. Continue.
Did you hear everything I was saying?
You're speaking about the ID parade.
Right. Mm-hmm. And as far as I understand, the complainant positively identified the minister as the person who she alleges assaulted her. Now, we need an update on this, Timothy, because I'm subject to police after an arrest has been made. So I would really like the police commissioner or whoever is acting in his absence to update the public on this. Was the minister arrested in connection with this matter? Was an ID parade in fact held, as I hear that it has been the case? What is the status of this investigation? So I'm asking this on behalf of the public. This is really important. I understand the minister is now acting as deputy prime minister, and this matter, the public needs to be aware or kept updated on this matter. So this is the one thing I'm calling about. And the second thing is very different, Timothy. I go around the island quite often, and I've been noticing that the speed bumps right around the island are in serious need of attention. They're not painted, Timothy. And we know how important these speed bumps are because they are located in areas of very high traffic, near schools, near churches, areas of high pedestrian traffic, if I might clarify. And I just want to call the attention of the Ministry of Infrastructure to ask them to please paint those speed bumps right across the island very urgently. I know there are a lot of road works going on, but there's a lot of reckless driving going on in St. Lucia as well. Lives are important, and we need those speed bumps to be painted urgently. Okay, so Timothy, that is it for today. I thank you for giving me a patient hearing, and I will listen off air.
Okay,
Take
ma'am.
care, Timothy, and
All
have a good weekend, you and Amanda.
You too,
God
ma'am.
bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for calling. Just so there from former government minister, former MP for Castries Central, Mrs. Sarah Flood Bobra. Let me turn my attention now to you, Amanda. Let's find out again what is happening in the chat room.
Tim, a few comments from earlier. Someone says there, Jamaica, which was the crime capital of the Caribbean, has now had the crime situation under control. What did they do to have the crime under control? Why can't our Prime Minister seek advice from Jamaica? A commentary reads, Bravo, well said, Mr. St. Rose. I have always been wondering why the government of St. Lucia has not contacted you when the when they first heard of you and your dedication to St. Lucia and offering your professional help into fighting this criminal situation in this country. I do hope that someone in authority today or tomorrow will make an effort into bringing you in so that you guys can work together into serving and protecting this country and its citizenry. Commentator says SLP's silence is not just disappointing, it's dangerous. By refusing to address crime head-on, Pay and Jeremiah Norbert are creating a culture of violence in St. Lucia. Bulletproof vests and vehicles are not a strategy. What we need is a real plan to tackle crime at its root. How many more lives must be lost before they act? Commentator says, I am so tired of hearing people say there is nothing the government can do to stop anyone from committing crimes if that is what they choose to do. What I want to say to the people is that the government has a responsibility to help shape the values by which its people exist in society. Therefore, if the people are not socialized in a manner where they respect life, morality, the rule of law and justice, then what you will have, as we are experiencing now, is anarchy. A commentary says, and the sad thing about it, when you're talking about what is happening in the country, the SLP hacks want to nail you. Why? Because they are blind, their eyes are covered with red. A NewsSpinner says, RAA Win finally found a voice and is making himself seen. Too little, too late. A commentary says, there's no fingerprint data system with every St. Lucian fingerprint. A commentary says, the government needs to remove bail for gun-related crimes. Someone says there may be advocate for a gun amnesty with an illegal gun buyback and police destroy program. Lots pockets broke but full of bullets and illegal firearms. Give the streets payouts. A commentary says when you have all these killings, the commissioner is supposed to have a press briefing to address the nation. Where are those who are in charge? A few commentary via YouTube, it reads, this is what Rick has been saying for the longest while. Praying for our nation no longer works. We have to hold those in charge accountable. A commentary says we need to stop making crime political. People need to come together. Crime affects us all. A commentary still via YouTube, it reads, always blaming the government. Parents, play your part. Be vigilant. It takes a village. Commentary says we have placed all our eggs in one basket. Tourism. Now we have this crime issue that can destroy it. This is what many have been saying. Why rely on tourism alone? And a commentary via YouTube and NewsSpin says, St. Lucia is in a crisis. We all need to come together. Stop with the hatred and ignorance. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Let's see if we have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Tim.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
And how are you, sir?
I'm okay. How about you?
Man, Mr. Tim, I address you and the other lady in the hall there. If it's Kimani or what's her name, I want to address all St. Lucians.
Amanda.
Well,
good afternoon,
to me, Mr. Tim, I'm one Mr. Edmund Maffrey, better known as Pentious Mangjum. And I like to say the government is not taking that crime thing seriously. And to be very honest, I'm not saying the government is the indulgence to crime. But if crime is happening and you have the crime security minister who is PJP, he still has another backer who is my representative in Monrepo, and he still has Virginia Albert Poyot. I hope I'm right. And every day, St. Lucia looks it's moving on a crystal ball. I had to say it, and I'm very open to say it. When June, that certain visitor came and he gave that crystal ball, what was in that crystal ball? Can you tell me, Mr.
Hold on, please. Hold on, caller. This is a serious program, so we're not talking.
I'm talking
caller,
very seriously.
Can you just listen? We are discussing serious issues. And we're not talking about crystal ball. We're not talking about Nigerian leader and making.
We feel like we are in a crystal ball because when he presented and the kind of crimes that I'm hearing, the technicalities. First time we had 3 people dead in a car, you know, man.
That is not true, caller. This has happened before.
You know what I mean? That kind of crime, man. All right, it's the first time I've heard within the space of 9 days that we have used nearly 15 souls. Women are included. What is What measures can the government take to address that situation? And the way they have to do it is to tap into the criminal activists, meaning that if they are the groupings, provide them with what, Mr. Tim, what have been happening ahead? And the way Rick is speaking, I'm speaking, I already see that crystal ball happening a long time. Because the crime issue is getting serious. And if the only thing we have, which is the very sensible and tangible thing, tourism, where are we heading? And we are also local tourists to ourselves. When the tourism season is closed through May, we are local tourists. And at the rate this crime is escalating from the north to the middle to the south, you know what it is preventing? The eligibility of free travel, where people are feeling free to travel. And it's not only impacting the tourism industry, it is impacting small men with boutiques, men with the transits, people who have to go to the workplace. Man says, and the opposition, which was Shasday, before that had already drawn a game plan. I did not know if when Philip would have drawn for Shasday, if it would have happened, but they draw a game plan. Now, Philip, I'm telling you one answer. If you know this thing gonna escalate, call the elections now. We want it now.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's see if you have a call in the landline. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Please go ahead with your contribution, caller.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hi.
Timmy.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, Golden Dragon here. Timmy, and you know, I said before, when you get the criminals, try and get their parents and see whether those parents have taken proper care of their kids. Because a lot of those kids...
Parents, if you are an old man with a firearm, a legal firearm, what do you want? You want to meet their parents? For what?
No, I'll tell you what, Timmy.
I'm asking you, why you want to meet their parents?
Timmy, I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Just relax. A lot of those young men who have been killed and who are killing do not know LOVE. They do not know, never experience what LOVE is, because from very young...
So the police will try to instill certain values in them, show them how to impart love and things of that nature, right?
The police will inject values into people.
But
police who nobody wants to talk to, who everybody...
But you are saying, if you arrest somebody with a firearm, illegal firearm, you want to know who's their parents, who's their mother. Why?
I want to know because who raised them? Because whoever...
To do what? What are you going to do with that information?
But Timmy, hear me clearly, Timmy.
What are you going to do with that information?
Them did not give them the LOVE. You have to give everyone so they can grow.
So what you will do? You'll penalize them as a result? You'll penalize them?
Some kind of thing should be done, but...
Like what?
But Timmy, let me move on.
No. Like what? What you'll do?
If I give them 10 years, I give them 1 year. I give the parents a year. That's me. If I give the kids 10 years, I give the parents 1 year. But let's move on.
Quickly move on.
Let's move on quickly. Now, you may ask yourself, this last crime, 4 people dead in a particular area in Canals or VGA. You think the killers are from Castries? No, they're from Vieux-Fort.
No, we don't know.
You see, we don't know.
But we don't know.
But Timmy, hear that? A guy left his home in La Clary and was killed down there. He went down there.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he go down there to meet?
But we don't.
But
Anyway.
Timmy, I will tell you.
Caller.
Timmy, I'm not a policeman, but the killers are in Vieux-Fort.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling. Much appreciated. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And let me see if I have some of your WhatsApp messages to go through. And then we are due for a break. And we'll be hearing from 1 or 2 government officials in just a moment. So please stand by. Somebody says that, Tim, where is the crime syndicate operating in St. Lucia? The crime prevention minister spoke about. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. We're trying to go through as many of your WhatsApp messages as possible. Somebody says there, when will Golden Dragon have his first meeting or present his team to the public? And via WhatsApp, somebody also says Bear with me, trying to go through this one. It says there, why is the minister paying bonus when the health centers have no gauze, medications, etc.? Why is the government not dealing with the child practice issues? Nurses and doctors in St. Lucia step up. That's according to a WhatsApp message. We're trying to go through as many of your messages. Somebody says they're all top cops sitting in air-conditioned offices, and the commissioner, Jeremiah, Virginia, and PJP need to get off their behinds and take to the streets after these criminals. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And it says there the Prime Minister has put on hold all the projects that would fuel economic growth, while the other islands in the Caribbean are busy building their infrastructure to take advantage of every opportunity for economic growth. The Prime Minister has levied taxes on us, and in the other hand, giving back a few dollars as handouts is how cheap he thinks we are. Does he think we are stupid and can be bought for a few dollars? Tim, the future does not look good with the St. Lucia Labour Party. Still on the political front, highlight of the week. A highlight of the week is a contribution that was made by former government minister, Mr. Edmund Estefan. He called NewsSpin earlier this week, so let us play you a part of that contribution that he made to the broadcast member that he has been seen on television supporting his brother, John Paul Estefan, who wants to win the Babonneau constituency on a St. Lucia Labour Party ticket.
Since the last general election, I've been very, very, very quiet. I'm trying my best so that it stays this way. Timothy, I love, with all my heart, I love St. Lucia. And I love the constituency of the Henry South. Timothy, it has been one of the greatest honors of my life to represent and serve my people. Throughout that journey, I was never alone. My brother, all my family out of Babonneau, they stood with me firmly. They were by my side, offering me unwavering moral and material support. Even when it meant setting aside his own political ambitions. Timothy, that's the spirit of true blood. He chose to serve through me, recognizing the greater good of the community. It mattered more than personal recognition, Timothy. Today, St. Lucians want to kill me. Oh, now I should not say St. Lucians. Some UWPs who are hurting want to kill me. Today, Timothy, the time has come for me to return that support. With pride, with humility, and with confidence, I now stand beside my brother as he steps forward to contest this general election. I know better than anyone his deep love for people. I can see that man in me, Timothy, his sense of justice and his unshakable dedication to service. For years, he has quietly worked in the background. Timothy, this man was a teacher. He could not come on my platform. He could not do it like the way that I am able to do it. Timothy, string flame communities, that's what he did. Advocating for fairness and offering his talents and resources where they were most needed. He has served Timothy, even not as a politician. I'm honored, Timothy, to do for him now what he has solemnly did for me all of those years, to lend him my full and public support. I believe he is ready, he is capable, and deeply committed to carrying forward the mission of service. You see that mission of service? With integrity and with vision. He has the vision to serve Babonneau. I ask you, my fellow citizens, to give him the same trust and opportunity that you once gave to me. I was not an easy rep. Okay? To me.
A highlight of the week, you just heard there from former government minister He previously served as the MP for Dennery South, and he contested that seat, of course, on a United Workers' Party ticket in the 2016 general election. Is now, I get the impression, defected to the SLP to support his brother John Paul Estefan. You just heard there from Edmund Estefan. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. In a moment, you will be hearing from Acting Prime Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire. Earlier today, he hosted a media briefing focusing on the island's crime problem. Stay with us.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Bouteille. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
We're just finished dinner. And before we all head off, let's do something very important. Let's go over our hurricane important documents. What else? Right, the generator. This year, I'm not taking any chances. I'm getting ours from Europa Hardware in Massad Grocery. Best prices around. And believe me, I don't want to hear, "Daddy, the Wi-Fi's down," when the power's out. Keep your family comfortable. Get your generator at Europa Hardware. Call us today at 452-0763. Europa Hardware, located in Massad Grocery. We service what we sell.
Compagnie Courant Lucilec a informé public là qui commençait mercredi 17 juillet, samedi 28 septembre l'année ici. Lucilec a une dernière phase campagne replacement mita. Ça c'est un pas en commitment compagnie Lucilec pour poursuivre bon qualité service qui sort avec reliable. C'est mita neuf là qui fait assurer courant qui servit miséré douette sans les et compagnie Lucilec délivrer un service qui a un niveau standard qui haut. Pratique qui mita qui mérite replacer qui recevrait avertissement notice par moins qui 48 net temps et bien 2 jours d'avance. Et joie pour faire travail là, un technicien qui habillé en uniforme Lucilec qui présenté carte d'identité et replacer mita qui estimé qui durer moins qui 30 minutes. Et pour faire assurer tout le bagage marcher bien, Lucilec a encouragé les pratiques pour faire à l'aise pour arriver côté Lucilec qui répond n'importe question et bien adresser concerne à sous replacement sémita. Adressé concerne nous pour département service pratique Lucilec à l'IMO téléphone 457-4440 et bien section mita à l'IMO téléphone 457-4607. Lucilec a remercié pratique pour coopération. La copoine exiport durant tant travail là qu'a continué.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong, no matter what we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in, our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control, all so you can enjoy a juicy senses with KFC.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a sir, at La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology, fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
Yes. That was the Lucia Top 5 for Carnival 2025. Yes. Welcome back to Real Men Take Charge, guys. Real Men, check up.
To all my listeners out there, visit a men's health clinic in your area today.
PSA checkups are now free.
It's private, it's quick, it's efficient, and convenient.
Music touches the soul, but health keeps the rhythm going. Fellas, it's time to check your PSA levels. It's free, it's simple, it will save your life.
Brothers, do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Let us be wise stewards of our lives. Prostate test saves lives. Let us not wait until it is too late.
To be a champion, you need to show up for yourself. I'm encouraging every man to take the step. Get checked. Stay strong. Do it for the team. Do it for your family.
My daddy is a hero, and I want him around for a very long time. Daddy, if you care about me, please take care of your health.
I face colon and prostate head on, and I'm still standing. Early detection saved my life. If I can do it, and it will definitely save.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
Monitored talk show in the world. The island's minister with responsibility for crime prevention, Mr. Jeremiah Norbert, along with the acting Prime Minister, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, they held a media briefing earlier today. We have the opening statement that was issued by the acting Prime Minister, Dr. Ernest Hilaire.
Of course, you know the Prime Minister is on a one-week vacation leave, and you know he's not in the island to address you, and it's my responsibility to do so. I think first of all the Prime Minister would want to say to all St. Lucians that we understand
I suspect we have some audio problems. We'll try to see if we can rectify it before we conclude the broadcast. So please bear with us while we try to solve that problem. But we had a statement earlier today by the acting Prime Minister, Dr. Ernest Hilaire. We will try to see if we can play that statement on the air before we conclude. Let me turn my attention to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
A few comments from earlier. NewsSpin says, don't expect to hear anything from the police. A comment here reads, true talk about those speed bumps. A NewsSpinner says, with this government at the helm, don't expect anything to happen from these lawsuits. A comment here reads, Jamaica took the canines PJP rejected. Someone says here, in the days of Chasney, the government was responsible for crime. When Chasney spoke about single mothers having children, he was chastised. Now the crime situation is out of control. Parenting is now on the front burner. A commentary reads, Squalor crime never affected Jamaica's tourist industry, but they had the reggae musicians who served as ambassadors. We do not have that in St. Lucia, so I may tend to agree with you. A NewsSpinner says, when will you be presenting your 17 candidates? Please give us the date, Mr. Golden Dragon. Another commentary reads, well, honestly speaking, some parents are enabling their kids. Some places in the states are holding some parents responsible for their kids' crimes. A commentary reads, that's bull. Some of the parents do not even know what the children are doing behind their backs. Someone says there, so it's just St. Lucia and Denry South that he loves now. He no longer loves the UWP, which gave him the opportunity to achieve what he now touts as the greatest honor of his life. Wow, shake my head.
Thank you so much, Amanda. We have another call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. And in just a moment, hopefully we'll be hearing from the acting Prime Minister, Dr. Ernest Hilaire. Go ahead, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you,
I
Rick.
just wanted to get something straight. Did Este, in effect, say that it was a family thing, that his family supported him throughout his campaigns as a UWP member, and when he found himself not the chosen election candidate, he then decided to abandon his party to support his brother in another party?
That's exactly what he said, yes.
You know, this reminds me of a subject that should be discussed. The matter of John Compton and the UWP team. There's a notion among some that the United Workers' Party belonged to John Compton. Do you agree with that? A party belongs to any one person?
No, does not belong to them.
But more than that, the real history of how the United Workers' Party was formed is there, how it was formed. And as far as I know, John Compton never wanted any of his family. I should know, I was close to them. I think everybody knows that. Didn't want any members of his family close to the nastiness of politics. You may even know that, Tim.
Yes.
I don't think he ever saw any of his kids or his son or anybody near a platform. I think he only saw them at Government House. So, and then there is the additional fallacy that Alan Chasney fell out with the Comptons, and that's why they deserted or abandoned the Comptons. Does that make any sense to you?
Weren't they at odds even when Mr. King was the acting Prime Minister?
At odds?
That's what
they fell out.
Mm-hmm.
Janine and Janice Compton, Lady Janice, fell out while Compton was still alive, still breathing at least. And there are a lot of reasons for that. The main one being what she told Russell Lake in an interview. It's there. I also covered a number of ways, including not following through on the dismissal of Rufus Busquets, because, remember all that thing about the signature and whatever?
Yes.
And then after King Compton died, Busquets went back to the cabinet again. As far as Janice Compton was concerned, all those were betrayals. But to say the least, when Compton died, Janice Compton did not want the Prime Minister of St. Lucia near her husband's casket, You know that?
Yes, I heard about it, yes.
So the whole matter of the fallout, Richard Frederick, when he was the first person who announced Richard Frederick's problems with the visa Americans, was Janine.
Yes, it was.
Who was the Prime Minister then?
Mr. Stephenson King. I think that that announcement was made on a Friday, Friday evening.
Yeah.
On HTS.
Where he was doing his own show. So there's so much of that. And I listen to guys throwing out false history as if Alan owed Janine Compton a job. Well, I said it before, I'll say it again. In Alan Shatner's circumstances, which means he inherited everything that happened under King. And by that time, Janine had already gone against the UWB in elections, okay?
Yeah.
If I were Alan Shatner, I too would not place her in a position to further hurt my party. Because the guy who's leading the party now is responsible for the longevity of the party. And that guy moved from King and it moved to Alan Shatner. So whatever problem there was with the UWP and the Comptons occurred under King. And it just continued. You know, while I'm still around, I just want those little bits of history to register properly. Because I read so much crap on Facebook, or I hear people talking so much nonsense just to make it convenient. And I don't know why Alan Shatner himself had not come out and said his problems with Janice were inherited, or that he owed it to Janice, to Janine, to let her be whatever she was applying for, the trust, was it the trust, etc. Alan Shatner, if it was possible for him to give Janine a job, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But Alan Shatner would not be a politician of any worth if he took somebody who was openly against his party, who wanted to see his party sink, and put her in a position where she can do that with greater success. Huh? I mean, come on.
All right, Rick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the clarification. Just there from Ukraine. We're trying to see if we could remedy that problem. We hopefully, I don't think it's possible at all. And my producer said, unfortunately, we will not be able to hear from the acting Prime Minister. My apologies to you. But let us hear from the Prime Minister of Jamaica as we're getting all set to conclude our broadcast. The Prime Minister of Jamaica speaking at the swearing-in ceremony of the members of Parliament yesterday. Dr. Andrew Holness announces the setting up of Ministry of National Security and Peace.
To signal the priority of violence reduction, the Ministry of National Security is now the Ministry of National Security and Peace. This reflects our conviction. The task before us is not simply to enforce law and order, but to build the conditions for lasting peace. I'm happy that the leader of the opposition in his presentation pointed out, as I pointed out several times in this House, that Jamaica has had several successes in its development. One that I'm particularly proud of is that we have managed to eliminate political violence from our society. It's a major achievement. And it was done in a cooperative way. I believe that this generation of leaders also has the capability to eliminate social violence from our society. So while homicides have fallen to levels not seen in decades, we must address the underlying conditions that cause and sustain violence. And the new Ministry of National Security and Peace will be focused jointly with other ministries on ensuring that once and for all, we tackle this issue of social violence. The work to reduce crime is not only about saving lives, it is about changing the entire trajectory of the country. Every murder prevented is not just a life saved, but a community stabilized, an investor reassured, a professional encouraged to stay, a business able to expand. Madam Speaker, we are already seeing this peace dividend occur. The Member of Parliament for Central Kingston is a witness to the peace dividend in his constituency when he can point to certain developments taking place. So too, the member from East Kingston and Port Royal, where he can point to certain residential developments taking place. Once we establish peace, our economy will grow. I see the member from Western St. Andrew also pointing out that there are developments taking place. So, Madam Speaker, for the first time in decades, Jamaica is no longer the most homicidal country in the Latin American Caribbean region. This is a major change. This is progress, but it must not be a passing phase. The decline must be sustained as we not only root out the gangs, but also transform the communities where they once had safe havens. By removing their habitat and changing the conditions, volatile communities, and indeed all of Jamaica, can become safer and more prosperous. Indeed, Jamaicans will be able to sleep with their windows and doors open. It is an ambition, an aspiration from which we must not resile. As we succeed in driving down murders, and we seek to reap the peace dividends, we're seeing increased investments as capital flows into safer, more predictable communities and environment. Businesses can look forward to higher profits as they are no longer burdened with extortion and the high cost of security. But most importantly, peace and a reduction in crime encourages our best and brightest to remain here in Jamaica. It reduces the brain drain and secures the human resources necessary for the development of the country. This Parliament must therefore see violence reduction as central to our economic future. It is not a matter of security alone. It is key to unlocking our prosperity. And therefore, when it comes to the strategies for violence reduction, I again call for a non-partisan, non-political space to be created where we can work collectively and jointly to reduce, if not eliminate, social violence in our society.
The Prime Minister of Jamaica speaking yesterday during the swearing-in ceremony for the members of Parliament, that is Dr. Andrew Holness, was also announced the setting up of a ministry with responsibility for national security and peace. Certainly reaping the benefits of measures that have been instituted by his administration to fight crime in his country, and that has manifested itself in a reduction in the number of homicides recorded so far in that once Caribbean country has been riddled with crime by some 45%. Murders reduced by some 45% so far for this year over in Jamaica. And in the case of St. Lucia, unfortunately, we are grappling with a serious murder problem. We are at close to 60 homicides already for this year. We were unable to play with that statement by the acting Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Dr. Ernest Hilaire. Well, the briefing earlier today in light of the worsening crime problem in St. Lucia. But we can go through an article posted by St. Lucia Daily Post. It says there, with 6 homicides recorded in just over a week, Acting Prime Minister Dr. Ernest Deland, Minister for Crime Prevention Jeremiah Norbert, have moved to reassure St. Lucians that the government will leave no stone unturned in the fight against violent crime. Speaking at a press conference this morning, Dr. Hilaire, standing in for Prime Minister Philippe Japierre, who is on short vacation leave, expressed condolences to families affected by the recent wave of killings. He acknowledged the trauma and fear gripping communities, but stressed that the fight against crime must be a collective national effort. The fight against crime is a national endeavor. It requires every single citizen to participate in it, Dr. Hilaire said. We have given the police all the resources they have requested, manpower, legislation, equipment, and we will continue to do so. But St. Lucians, too, must support the police in their operations and stop shielding criminals. Dr. Hilaire emphasized that the government is prepared to enact stronger laws and provide additional policy and logistical support if requested by the police. He praised recent successes in the recovery of illegal firearms and ammunition, but insisted that more aggressive enforcement is needed. Meanwhile, Minister for Crime Prevention Jeremiah Norbert, himself a former police officer, delivered a stern warning to both criminals and those who harbor them. This government will stop at absolutely nothing to ensure that this scourge comes to a halt, Norbert declared. If you aid, abet, or benefit from the proceeds of crime, whether as a family member, friend, or institution, you too will face the full brunt of the law. That's according to Jeremiah Norbert, who is the minister with responsibility for crime prevention. A story there read from the website of St. Lucia dailypost.com, and it is reporting on a media briefing which was held earlier today featuring the acting Prime Minister and also the Minister with responsibility for crime prevention. Time now for the NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day reads, what type of government maintains its silence amidst several killings? What type of government maintains its silence amidst several killings? And the NewsSpin news of the day, United States President Trump says that negative coverage of him is not allowed. United States President Trump says that negative coverage of him is not allowed. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, and that is NewsSpin. Hope you'll have yourself a great weekend. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell, and that is to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. I'll be back, God willing, on Monday afternoon, 12:30, with another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Goodbye.